Hey guys, welcome to the 101 in 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world 101 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson, and I'm back with a new artist for this week. She is the singer-songwriter. She has this different style. I love her rock and fusion type of style of songs where she has these different songs talking about curious, and it's just an open book. And I believe that we're going to talk about part one of her new open book of her new album that you guys have to check out very shortly. Without further ado, let me help you introduce you to the multi-talented, the beautiful, the creative, the fun-loving, and spirit. Yeah, I feel like she just has this great big spirit of ball of energy. Her name is Miss Jennifer Alvarado. Yay! Thank you, my
Yeah,
dear, for being on the show. I'm so excited. I listen to your music and let's talk about your musical influences. So,
yeah,
who's your musical influences and how did you get started in the industry?
yeah. I actually just got started, I guess, as a fan. Like when I was like 4 years old, I started writing, and music's just always been like part of my life. Like I can't even explain it. It's how I communicated, and I'm naturally a very shy, very introverted person. People don't think that, but I am. um, people are draining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my way of kind of communicating, and I would just sort of like sing songs and write songs, and
That's nice.
everything I was thinking, that's what I would do. So honestly, the influences are all over the place. My mom was really into classic rock, so I loved Chicago, loved Journey, Tom
Mm,
Petty, the Eagles, just to name
yeah.
a few. But then, my grandparents, and I was at their house a lot, they were really into classic country. And so I grew up with, like, you know, Waylon Jennings and Dolly Parton and all of, like, the singer songwriters, but then also Reba and Garth Brooks and all of that. And
Mm,
I gravitated toward 90s country. But I always liked the rock. So there was like that, there was just something strong about it, and I loved that. I love big voices, so I love Celine Dion and Whitney Houston, and just Martina McBride is another one that has a really strong voice. And
mm,
so there was just something about people that were singing these songs that um, it told a story. Especially, like, I can remember back, like, Martina McBride released Independence Day. And I was pretty young when that song came out, and I just thought, I want to write like this. Like, I want to create this story where I don't know if it's about her life or not. Like, I thought it truly was about her life because of how she sang it and portrayed it. So yeah, I've just always been curious with the music and what's going on with the artist. So yeah, I've had a lot of influences over the
mm.
years. I've had classical, all that kind of stuff. So
I love it because it actually, when I'm listening to your music, I can hear all the inspirations and infusions come together as you are this great artist, and I just love how everything kind of like flows with it, with your music, with your art, with your life. I just feel that authenticity and that passion that comes out with it as well
thank
as
you.
this artist that started with piano and elevated herself up to where you're at now as this multi-talented artist.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your challenges and success as an artist?
Honestly, most of my challenges are self-inflicted. um, I developed after my grandmother died when I was 10. She was probably my biggest fan, and we had country music together. Like, that was our thing.
Oh,
We would listen to music together. And when she passed away, it was almost like the blinders of the world came off, and I all of a sudden started hearing the criticisms and being told, like, well, you need to look like this or be this. And so I started developing a lot of performance anxiety and just anxiety in
mm,
general. And for a long time, I would go up to sing and nothing would come out. Like, I would audition and get the audition, and then it would be time to do it. And it was like, I would just choke. Um, and so that went on for a while. And it was
Wow.
more of just like wanting to just hide from the world, in a way. And, music, even though it had always been my safe place, I also wanted to keep it my protective place. And so I almost felt like I couldn't share it with the world. And so there's that. I think anytime like you're doing something, I'm very like spiritual, and my faith is very important to me. So I feel like anytime you are trying to use your voice for the positive and good, the enemy's going to come in. Like,
Come
you know,
on.
yeah, like it's things are going to happen. People that
Hmm.
you never thought would say something will say something that just hits you, and you think, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But I think that that's how the enemy uses that to try to get you to just stop using your voice. Because if he can do that, you're rendered powerless basically. And
Correct.
so, um, for me, I had to get past that. I had to really look at my faith and all of that and say, no, this means more. Like, this means more than any criticism I can get or ever have thrown at me. And I'm stronger than this because, I have the
It's
Holy
great.
Spirit. So, um, so that's really, those are the biggest challenges. The ones where, like, it's not even what people say, it's when you start believing
Come
what
on.
they're saying.
Come on. Woo! You said some things right there that just hit my spirit. And I definitely so touch and agree with you so much, because I believe as an artist, as a person, as a believer, you have to stay true to yourself, and you have to stay true to who you are as a person. And telling your story with your grandmother and how that allowed for you to overcome so many trials and tribulations with inside yourself, because a lot of times ourself sometimes is our worst enemy,
Oh
but
yeah.
when
Oh
we
yeah.
are able to identify it's me, that's when the healing really starts, and that's when you start really understanding the thing behind the thing behind the thing. And
Exactly.
that's where you're at as an artist and as an individual. And I think a lot of artists don't get to really find themselves or their voice. They're singing and using a voice, but is that really
Right.
your voice, or that someone else's voice making you feel like that is your voice?
Well, and I think as artists, we're tempted by the success of others to think, okay, well, if I just do this over here, like, I'll be successful. And so you start to just slowly pull away from like who you really are and what you're
Right.
really supposed to be doing. And it's tempting. Like, I have fallen into that where I want to be in this mold. But what I realized was I was trying to fit into a mold I'm never meant to fit into. And when you get past that and you realize, you know what, it's okay to be me, and you start just embracing that and realizing you don't have to sound like everybody else and
Come
you're not
on.
meant to, like, that's where you grow. And that's where you start to honestly get the joy back of music and enjoy what you're doing. So,
Yeah. I think what you said is so empowering. And guys, I want you to be able to soak in all this knowledge and all this wisdom, and just embrace it and tap into it, and really, really get to a point of your journey as an artist and as an individual as well, of really finding who you are as a person. If you have to do it through your music, do it through your music, but make sure you find who you are, and not find someone else that you think who you really are
right.
as an artist. I think this is a beautiful story. So thank you so much for sharing
Yeah,
that and
thank
having
you.
courage to share that with us. So let's talk a little bit about your music.
Yeah.
Songbird, part
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
So I so how did you come up with Songbird, and how did you come up with this musical collaboration of all these different songs on this album?
Yeah, so honestly, this project is very autobiographical. I went through a very trying couple of years where I was trying to figure out um, just where I was supposed to be. I had gone into worship ministry, and I was very much pursuing worship ministry. I mean, I'm still in worship ministry, but I had gone into that, and nothing was doing what I thought it was supposed to be doing.
Uh-huh.
Um, And I was left really just feeling lost in what I was doing. And so I started writing this album, and for me it was a healing process because it was a journey from being told you know, what I was supposed to be and all of this stuff, and realizing like it was fruitless, to actually healing from it and then coming back, you know, restored and stronger than I was. And so I wanted to kind of break it down into parts because the first part, which was released in July, is very much like kind of the story of this start to finish toxic relationship. And the next part is going to be realizing like it's not all you. And putting, putting blame where blame is due, I guess, but also realizing you're more than that and coming back from that. So for me, it's really about the journey of that time and really figuring out, like, in the waiting of life, like this is life. This is what happened. Um, Obviously, like, I've kind of changed some of the stories so that it's not just like point blank, like, you did this. Um, but yeah, I mean, it very much is autobiographical. And I went with Songbird because for so long that's where I got all of my worth. With being a worship leader, with being this right here, like, and having this title. And I realized it's not about the position, it's not about this title. You're more than that. And so that's really why I named it Songbird, because I've left that period of life feeling like, well, if I'm not doing this, what am I doing? Like, I'm nothing. And I think I had to go through that to realize, like, no, there's more to you than that. And you're not meant for just this one thing. You can do this, but you need to realize you're more than that. And I think everybody needs to realize they're more than that, that they're not just this one single label that somebody's put on them.
Correct. Wow. Very powerful.
Thank you.
Very powerful. Yes, definitely. And you're just this, I told you at the beginning, you're like this powerful spiritual
Aw.
being.
Thanks.
And yeah, your testimony is going to help other people
I hope so.
really empower themselves to motivate themselves to keep on going, to keep on living, to keep on dreaming, to keep on working towards whatever goals, aspiration that you have in life, because it's all about your music. And being a songbird has allowed for you to be such an inspiration to all the other people out here who need that little push. But no, thank you. Guys, you got to make sure you get her album, Songbird, and make sure you go to her website as well. She has so much information on her website. Jennifer has vocal classes. I believe she has songwriting classes, guitar classes as well. You need to get your children involved. Make sure you contact her. And then, of course, she has a plethora of other information as well. So, Jennifer, can you tell everyone how can they get in contact with you? How can they book you for sessions and
Yeah.
upcoming performances as well?
Sure. Yeah, check out my website. It's jenniferalvarado.com. And then also you can connect with me on Instagram. That's Jennifer Alvarado Music. TikTok's Jennifer Alvarado Music. Look me up on Facebook. You can either put in Jennifer Alvarado Music, or it's /Jem, JEM, Music 12. I will say, if you're looking for me on Facebook, you got to put the music in, or you're going to get sent to a water filtration person.
And we don't want that.
I mean, she probably does, but
she probably does, but we don't want y'all to get sent there. So, Jennifer, it's been so great to interview you. And guys, also, she has a blog, and it's really about healing. So make sure you guys check that out. I actually read
Oh, thanks.
to dear, I think you said something, dear to yourself, or dear me, or
Dear
something.
Younger Me.
Yes. It was really, really great. So, guys, make sure you check that out as well. And thank you again, Jennifer, for being on our show. And thank you guys for tuning in to the 101 in 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world 101 in 10 minutes. So I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Take care and continue to shine bright. Bye.